Amplitude shift keying (ASK) is an important digital modulation technique, digital modulation method, which is similar to amplitude modulation (ASK), where when there is a term keying means there will be change from bit 0 to bit 1. That is logic 0 to logic 1. And the logic change will affect the amplitude of carrier signal, like what happens in amplitude modulation. In amplitude modulation, we know that the amplitude of carrier signal changes in accordance with instantaneous value of modulating signal, message signal. So similarly, this is also a method which is similar to amplitude modulation, but it's a digital modulation. The main difference is in these modulation methods, the message signal will be in the form of digital data, that is binary data. So let's begin with again introducing digital modulation technique, which is a method in which the change that is used to change the properties of carrier signal with modulating signal. Again, just like in any modulation method, the properties of carrier, the one of the characteristics of carrier signal will change according to instantaneous value of message signal. This may either involve AM, FM, or PM, and accordingly ASK, FSK, and PSK are the modulation methods which are there in digital modulation techniques as basic digital modulation methods. The information, the message will be in the form of bits, stream of bits in this modulation method, and almost similar modulators and similar demodulators are used, what we use in analog modulation and demodulation method. Those modulators and demodulators are can be used here in the digital modulation and demodulation methods as well. The major difference lies in the message signal. In the analog modulation method, message is analog, that has continuous variation, whereas in digital modulation method, the message is digital, which is a combination of bits, which is a stream of bits, which is a digital data. So you can see here that there is an example that there is binary digit 01101. I mean, these are the binary digits, which is digital signal, which correspond to 0 correspond to low amplitude, and 1 corresponds to high amplitude. Again, 1 corresponds to high amplitude. So 01101. So low, high, high, low, high are the amplitude of signal. And this is a carrier signal. We know that carrier is a high frequency signal. We know that its repetition is high. So if we talk about ASK, in which amplitude changes. So if you look at here, when the amplitude of modulating signal is low, the amplitude of carrier signal is low here. When the amplitude is high, it's high here. So low, high, low, high, low, high. So only there will be two limits of the amplitude of carrier signal. Phase of carrier and frequency of carrier will not change. What will change is the amplitude, and that too amplitude will have only two levels. Unlike amplitude modulation, in analog modulation method, amplitude of carrier changes, but that change is continuous. Here the change is discrete, low, high, low, high, low, high. It means low carrier amplitude, high carrier amplitude, low carrier amplitude, high carrier amplitude. The carrier amplitude will be analog signal, but of course that change is not continuous. The change is discrete in terms of low, high, low, high, low, high, low, high. Whatever is the change in the binary digit, accordingly that change will be reflected in the amplitude of carrier signal. In FSK, what happens? The frequency of carrier will change. Amplitude and phase remain same. So you can see here, when the beat is low, you see the frequency is same. When the beat is high, the frequency has increased. You look at here, and again it becomes low, the frequency remains same. So what we can say that it has only two frequencies. For low bit, a particular value of frequency. For high bit, that is logic 1, there will be another specific value of frequency. So the carrier signal will have two frequencies in the FSK output. They will be two different frequencies of carrier signal, which will be depending on low and high bit of the message signal. Similarly, in PSK, what happens whenever the message signal, the beat is changing, the phase is changing. If you can see here, the board beat is low, so there is no change. Now the beat is changing here. So the beat is changing, it means here it is changed, and then it starts from here, and then signal, because it is inverted, but there is no phase change. The moment beat changes, wherever beat will change, there the phase will change. That's all. Wherever the beat, wherever the logic of the input will change, there the phase of the carrier signal will change. In other places, it will not change. So this modulation uses discrete signals, as I told you, discrete signals, which are digital signals as the input, and the modulated by carrier. Digital modulation removes communication noise as well as enhanced signal strength. If you see the major advantage of digital communication system, it's by virtue of digital modulation techniques which are used, and the major advantages include low noise, the noise immunity is high, the signal strength is very good, and there are some more advantages, like the capacity of data is very huge in the digital modulation and communication system. High information security, enhanced security is there, and accessibility of a system, and that to faster data transmission. So there are a number of advantages associated with the digital communication system, and many of those advantages are attributed to these modulation methods. So as you can see here, there is one more waveform. Whenever the beat is 1, high frequency, 0, low frequency, 1, high frequency. But what is very important is that it will have only two levels, that it has either amplitude or it doesn't have amplitude. High amplitude, low amplitude, high amplitude, low amplitude. There is no change in frequency. This is the output of ASK. And this modulation offers, as I told you, high capacity, high security, good communication quality, faster accessibility, better capacity of conveying the huge amount of data. And depending on what parameter of carrier signal changes, there are three methods: ASK, FSK, and PSK. So let's begin with ASK, because the current lecture is on ASK, that is amplitude shift keying, right? Where the amplitude will change, amplitude will vary in accordance with the change in the modulating signal. So if you see here the waveform, it gives you every answer that if the message signal has logic 1, high bit, you see here high amplitude, logic 0, the low bit will produce low amplitude. So high amplitude, low amplitude, again high amplitude, low amplitude. Now there is a continuity where the signal remains high in the message signal, therefore the amplitude remains high. The moment it becomes low again, the amplitude of carrier signal has become low. So the amplitude of carrier signal follows the amplitude of message signal, irrespective of is digital or analog. So therefore, it's like amplitude modulation. In amplitude modulation, the change in carrier amplitude varies in accordance with instantaneous value of modulating signal. But there, what happens? The amplitude, if continuously changes, the modulating signal amplitude, so this will also continuously change. But we know that in the ASK, or in digital modulation method, the input binary sequence, which is method, that is message signal, will have two amplitude levels: low, high, low, high, low, high. And therefore, the carrier amplitude will also have only two amplitude levels: high amplitude, low amplitude, high amplitude, and low amplitude. So the amplitude of output depends upon the input data, whether it should be 0 or variation of positive or negative depending on the carrier frequency. ASK is a kind of amplitude modulation. I have already explained that represents the binary data in the form of variations in the amplitude. Any modulated signal has high frequency carrier. The binary signal, when ASK is modulated, gives a 0 value for low input, see here, and gives the carrier output for high input. So sometimes, when we see the waveform, what we say that there is no signal when the input is low and the signal is present when the input is high. That is true because the signal is there, but the amplitude becomes 0. So when signal with 0 amplitude doesn't have any meaning, it means there is no presence of signal. So signal is present for high input, and for low input there is no signal at all because amplitude vanishes. That is there. Now, how to generate? How to generate? If you remember, amplitude modulation we have studied. How do we generate modulated signal? If you remember, the simplest mechanism which we have studied in amplitude modulation is a mixer. The mixer combines carrier and meshes signal, and that generates two sidebands. If you remember, similar mechanism will be used. As I told you, it's similar to amplitude modulation, except the meshes signal is digital. The meshes signal is in the digital form. So if the carrier signal is AC cosine omega CT, where omega C is 2 pi fc, right? Where fc is the carrier frequency. So ASK can be generated by, MT is given to mixer here and carrier signal is given here. So both are mixed together. And if, this is represented as SASK, means ASKC. I'm sorry. It is equal to MT multiplied by CT, which can be written as MT multiplied by AC cosine omega CT or AC cosine 2 pi FCT. So this is ASK signal. All right. So this is a block diagram of modulator. If we see, if we want, to know how does the modulator of ASK signal look like. So this is one typical block diagram of modulator where a carrier generator, which is an oscillator, will generate a carrier signal, all right, and the binary sequence which is coming from binary sequence generator, unipolar binary sequence or bipolar, it depends whether it's a bipolar or unipolar. If it is bipolar, what happens? There will be +1 and -1, and if it is unipolar, 1 and 0. There are different data formats which we have, we are not studying in this lecture. That is return to 0, non-return to 0, Manchester and other schemes are there. So in one subsequent lecture, we will discuss about data format. But here in the block diagram, what data format is displayed here is the binary sequence, which is unipolar. Unipolar means 1 and 0, but unipolar may be also 0 and -1, but here we have included 1 and 0. 1 means logic 1, that is high input, and 0 means logic 0, that is low input. So very simply, the meshes signal is generated by the source and the carrier is generated by sinusoidal carrier oscillator. All right, and both are mixed. It's just like a switching operation. See, in ASK, if you see the waveform, how does it waveform look like? When the bit is 1, the signal amplitude remains, means the signal is present. When the bit is 0, the signal is absent. It's very simple. So what will happen? We can implement a switch kind of mechanism. See, and this switch can be controlled by this message. It means when this switch receives its input 1, the switch is closed. So what will happen? The sinusoidal carrier signal will be allowed. When this switch is off, it is open. Open means when this binary input is 0. So when it is 0, switch is open because switch has two stable states, on and off. On when the bit is 1, off when the bit is 0. So when it is on means when the bit input bit is 1 means it is on, the carrier signal is passed. When the bit becomes 0, the switch is open, the signal is, because open circuit will not allow any current, and therefore this carrier signal will not be allowed. So you can understand, we will get output, we will not get output. We will get output when the binary input is 1. Suppose 1 is coming 3 times. So in all that duration, when ones are present, in that particular time, the carrier signal will be allowed with a constant amplitude. Amplitude will not change if 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 are there. The moment it becomes 1 to 0, suddenly amplitude becomes vanished. No, there will not be any amplitude. So the high signal closes the switch that allows carrier wave, and the output will be carrier signal with high input. So this is one, ASK output, sorry, which is band limited output, is the signal which is received for either closing the switch and opening the switch. When switch is closed, then we get the output. When we do not, when the switch is open, then output is there, but output is obtained, but no amplitude is there. When there is low input, switch opens, which is in open condition. I have told you that allows no voltage to appear, and therefore output voltage will be low. So the band limiting filter, which shapes the pulse depending upon the amplitude and phase characteristic of band limiting filter, or the phase shaping filter also it's called as. So this is used to shape the pulse. Proper shape of the pulse can be obtained by this band limited filter. So if we can, so that was how we generate. How do we generate the ASK signal at the transmitter? That was about modulator. Now, when we want to recover the signal, so we need to demodulate the signal. The demodulation or detection is the method of recovering the signal. So it's very simple. There are again, like in amplitude modulation, we have seen there are two methods, synchronous and asynchronous. In synchronous, what happens? The same carrier frequency is applied exactly. This mechanism is same here. So you can see here the modulated wave, which is ASK signal, is given as the input to the mixer. Again, we are using a mixer, but we are applying the same carrier frequency. We will make an arrangement to regenerate the carrier frequency that we have already discussed. In the synchronous demodulation, there is a problem of synchronization. Because in amplitude modulation, we have seen that carrier is also sent, right? Carrier is also sent. So you can send a carrier separately, otherwise synchronization will be needed. The same amount of carrier needs to be generated, that will be used. So the carrier is mixed with the modulated signal, and then this signal is sent to LPF, then it is sent to determination device, then we recover the information signal. Now, why and what happens? You look at here. This modulated signal comes to mixer where it is mixed with carrier. So what will happen? It will be multiplied by carrier. What is the carrier signal? Again, AC cosine omega CT. So it will become empty. AC cosine omega CT was already the signal. Now it will become AC cos square omega CT. You can write AC square too also, but we are representing some amplitude only. So the important thing is cosine square, because cos omega CT was already there. Now again cosine omega CT is applied, so you are getting a term of cosine square omega CT. We know that cosine square is 1 plus cosine of 2 omega CT. So you can write like this. So this signal is passed through low pass filter. This particular signal is passed through low pass filter, and the low pass filter is centered at certain frequency. It has its cutoff frequency. That frequency only will be allowed, others will be rejected. So this low pass filter will reject this double frequency component, and then we will obtain AC by 2 into MT. What is important for us is MT. Forget about AC by 2. We can adjust the value by AC, the value of AC by 2. We can send this signal to an electronic circuit, which is a divider circuit, and we can divide this factor by AC by 2. So AC by 2 will be eliminated. So do not worry about the constant factor. What is important is this variable. What is this variable? Message signal. So can you see here, once we pass through LPF, we will get the message signal. But of course, as I told you, we can use some electronic circuit, electronic device like divider. This is what is called as determination device. It can, it can allow, it can limit the amplitude, and whatever amplitude is required. Suppose we want only A into MT, so we can get that. So that determination device is an electronic device that will clip the amplitude. What is important for us, the variation in the signal. See, please understand, when MT has high amplitude and low amplitude, so when you multiply by certain factor, the signal nature, signal characteristic remains same. It will become, it will still be high, low, high, low, high, low. It will be simply elevated by the factor. Suppose it has 0 voltage. So even if you multiply by certain factor, it remains 0. And when it has 1 volt, 1 multiplied by AC by 2 will become AC by 2. So it still has 2 levels, low and high, low and high, low and high. Because in digital communication, what is important is low and high, not the, there are 2 different levels. So the demodulator, this is how we recover, and this scheme can be called as synchronous demodulation. Why synchronous demodulation? We can call it as, because the same carrier frequency, as we do in the amplitude demodulation as well, the same carrier frequency is being used in order to recover the signal. So there are, there are 2 types of demodulation. Demodulation is also called as detection. They are asynchronous and synchronous. By their name we can understand. Synchronous means same carrier frequency, there is no change in frequency. Asynchronous means there is no need of having same frequency and phase. So the clock frequency at the transmitter, when matches with the clock frequency at receiver, there is a clock which generates frequency, and both the frequencies are, compared, and when we find that both the clock frequency, both at transmitter and receiver, the frequencies are same, it means there is a synchronous method. The detection method is synchronous, and the frequency gets synchronized. Otherwise, when there is no matching, it is called as asynchronous method of demodulation. Asynchronous detector consists of half-wave rectifier, a low-pass filter, and a comparator. In the asynchronous demodulator, there are 3 major components. One, HWR, that is half-wave filter, low-pass filter, that is LPF, half-wave rectifier, I'm sorry, low-pass filter, LPF, and then a comparator. The half-wave rectifier, we know that it can deliver either complete positive or complete negative. So it delivers a positive half output. A low-pass filter suppresses the higher frequency, and that can produce the envelope detected output, which the comparator delivers the digital output. So let's understand, the things will be clear. You see here, modulated ASK. This is a modulated signal. We know that because in the modulated signal, what's important? In modulated signal, we can see that there are either high amplitude is there or low amplitude is there. So when we pass it to rectifier, half-wave rectifier, we know about the rectifier. Rectifier is a device, that ideally it converts AC into DC. But what do we understand? Half-wave rectifier, there is a diode, single diode. And how does diode operate or work? When it is forward bias, it conducts; otherwise, it doesn't conduct. So there is a forward bias diode in rectifier. So these positive, pulses. Therefore, half cycle we are talking about. For all these positive input, it will conduct and produce the output. For negative, it will not produce. So therefore, you can see that all these pulses will correspondingly produce the output, whereas these negative pulses will not produce anything. Again, at low level, nothing will happen. That is when amplitude is 0, it remains reverse biased. And when again positive voltages are coming, it becomes forward biased, it will conduct and it will produce the output. So you can understand, right? Let me choose a pen, So this is the input you look at here. And for this input, this is the output, right? This is the output. Please try to understand. So this particular area is suppressed and this particular area for positive output is passed. Now when it is passed to LPF, what does LPF do? It rejects high frequency component and it allows low frequency component. It's a kind of smoothing, low pass filtering is called as smoothing also. So, you can see a smooth filtering output. You see that there is no high frequency, only low frequency term is present. So almost the signal has smoothed. So you see the smooth outputs here, right? And so this is the output which you get here. And this output is given to a comparator. And we know about the comparator. Comparator compares the signal. Based on the comparison, it will produce only two levels. Either, it will compare with some reference value. When the input is greater than the reference value, will produce +1 or 1. When it is less, it will produce 0. So comparator is a determination circuit. It's an electronic circuit that will produce the digital data. What we have noted here, the comparator delivers a digital output, right? So it's a very interesting block diagram that modulated ASK is passed to half-wave rectifier, where there are positive outputs only are produced, which is given to LPF. LPF smoothens the output and produces this one, and that further goes to comparator, and the comparator gives you two kind of outputs which are two levels called as binary levels, and the output is the digital output finally. Then comes synchronous. It consists of square law demodulator, right? If you remember amplitude demodulation, we have studied all these things, right? If you remember in the amplitude demodulation, what was envelope demodulator? We used one diode. So in the previous one, what did we use? Half-wave rectifier. So that half-wave rectifier we used as an asynchronous demodulator for ASK. It's a kind of envelope demodulator for amplitude demodulation. So all, as we have noted in the beginning, modulators and demodulators are similar to that of the conventional amplitude, conventional analog modulation. We are talking about ASK, which is similar to amplitude modulation. So your modulators and demodulators are similar to ASK, that amplitude modulation. So synchronous detector consists of a square law detector, a low pass. Let me choose the pointer. Pain is, yeah. So it consists of a square law demodulator, a detector, low pass filter, a comparator, and a voltage limiter. All right. So the output of square law demodulator is proportional to, as its name suggests, as it has done or as it does in amplitude demodulation. Square law demodulator will receive the input, will produce a square of the input, first of all. Then low pass filter will come into the picture, which will minimize the high frequencies, which will attenuate, eliminate the high frequency, produce the low frequency, produce the smoothened output, and then comparator comes into the picture, and comparator combined with limiter, they will be used to obtain a clean digital output in the synchronous demodulation. So you can see some mathematical analysis. Look at here. That is the first block is a square law detector. Then comes low pass filter, then comparator, then voltage limiter. So what does square law demodulator do? It will square the input. What is the input to the demodulator? Modulated signal. What is the modulated signal? MT AC cosine omega CT. So if you look at here, the input is squared. So you see here M square AT, AC square 2, cosine square 2, cos 2 pi FCT, because the input is actually MT AC cosine omega CT or MT AC cosine 2 pi FCT. So you can see here M square T, AC square T. We know that cosine square theta is 1 plus cosine 2 theta divided by 2, and therefore it is 1 by 2, 1 plus cosine of 4 pi FCT, because 2 pi FCT is already there. So what will happen? We know that when the signal is passed through LPF, which attenuates high frequency. What is the high frequency here? This one. So it will be attenuated. So what will be the output of LPF, low pass filter? AC square by 2 into m square into 2. That is pass to comparator, right? That is pass to comparator and then voltage limiter, and we'll get the digital output. So determination device which is being used here that determines the level of signal and transmitting an information signal is obtained. So, then accordingly, we'll receive the signal that what actually is the signal which we want, and then we can obtain the signal. All right. So, constellation diagram, right? Constellation diagram is a very, very interesting diagram. We can say that constellation diagram is a phasor representation, amplitude and phase representation of all digital modulation methods. It's not only used for ASK, but used for representing, understanding all digital modulation methods. So as you can see, the first diagram, constellation diagram means there will be a circle, and each point on the circle will represent certain amplitude and phase value of the components which are present in the modulated signal. Like you see here, this is the amplitude component. Radius is representing amplitude component. And this, there are two quadrants. This is amplitude quadrant, this is phase quadrant, and that too in phase quadrant, because it will start from here, so there is no phase difference. So in phase quadrant, and this is quadrature quadrant. There is a 90-degree phase difference. So when it comes here somewhere, so this particular point, what will happen? How do we calculate this radius, or length, we can say from here to there, will represent the amplitude of that component. And how do we calculate the angle? You know that, right? Perpendicular divided by this base, we can calculate the angle, that is tangent of angle is perpendicular divided by base, and we can calculate this angle, and that angle will represent the phase difference. So as we know that in ASK, phase does not change and amplitude has only two levels. It has only two levels, by the way. Is it clear? So ASK is expressed as constellation with the information amplitude point 0 and 1 at phase 0, and say phase 0 corresponding to 0 and 1 still remains, there is no phase difference. So there are 2 points. See, how many points are there in ASK? How many bits are there? Can you understand? There are only 2 bits, 1 and 0, 1 and 0. 0 means what? No amplitude. 1 means what? 1 amplitude. See here, there is 1 point and there is another point. Is there any phase difference? No, both are at same phase difference. If if this one goes somewhere here, then we'll say that there is phase difference, but there is no phase difference. All right, because this is ASK where amplitude changes, phase does not change, and therefore whether the amplitude is low or the amplitude is high, in both the cases the phase of the signal remains same. There is no change in the phase. So this is an interesting diagram, constellation diagram, especially when we discuss about PSK. It becomes more relevant because in PSK, as its name suggests, phase changes. So in PSK, and that too, Emery PSK, QPSK, BPSK, Emery PSK means there may be n number of rays. This constellation diagram becomes very interesting. You will have more number of components distributed here and there according to their radius, according to their amplitude value, and according to their phase value. What is important is according to their phase difference values. There will be n number of components having phase difference between each other. So this diagram looks very interesting when we talk about the PSK method. So we'll see the constellation diagram, and we'll understand how in PSK it becomes relevant in representing the components present in the modulation method. But as in ASK also we can represent. There are 2 levels, high amplitude and low amplitude. But the high amplitude can be expressed by a radius of 1. Low amplitude can be also expressed of radius 0. But yes, they are on in-phase quadrature line only, in-phase carrier line only, on these axes only, because there is no phase difference between these 2 components. So we can now summarize the lecture. This lecture is about ASK. ASK is amplitude shift keying, which is an important amplitude, digital modulation method. Digital modulation method is like analog modulation method. The major difference between analog and digital modulation method is in digital modulation method, your data becomes digital. That is very interesting. Your data becomes digital. So otherwise, similar to amplitude, frequency, and phase modulation, in ASK, amplitude of the carrier signal will change. In FSK, the frequency will change. In PSK, the phase will change. So this lecture is about ASK. So we have seen that in ASK, the amplitude will change according to the amplitude of message signal. And what is interesting thing is that in the message signal, there are two levels of amplitude only, unlike the analog modulating signal where it has continuity, where it has continuous variation in the amplitude of message signal as well as carrier signal. So since here there are only two levels, so carrier amplitude will also have two levels. So how do we generate in the modulator or in the transmitter part? We make an arrangement that whenever the bit is 1, the signal is allowed. Whenever bit is 0, signal is not allowed. It means the output will have only two levels, high level of amplitude, low level of amplitude, high level of amplitude and low level of amplitude according to high, low, the bit combination of digital input data. While recovering, the detection or demodulation method is used like analog modulation or demodulation method, the synchronous demodulation, the diode demodulator, that is envelope demodulator, are here also used. The envelope demodulator is looked here as the asynchronous method, and the synchronous demodulation method which is used that implies square law demodulator of your amplitude demodulation, that is looked here at as synchronous demodulation method. So ASK is an interesting, digital modulation method which is similar to amplitude modulation method of analog modulation technique, and used to modulate the stream of bits, that is digital data as the input by high frequency carrier signal. So that's all for this lecture. Thank you.